Hello, fellow humans, and welcome back to a new type of video or audio, depending on where you're listening, where I just want to talk casually about some tech topics that I have experienced or I want to share with you guys. This is not scripted or like a well thought out review. This is just my views and opinions presented in a very casual way. So yeah, I plan to do more such videos where I just want to share my thoughts and my experiences like this. So yeah, and I'm also planning to make this available as an audio only sort of mini podcast, if you will. It'll be available on all platforms like I don't know, Spotify, Google Podcasts, wherever else you listen. So yeah, you can find links in the description if you want to listen to this Tech Talk series in audio only format as well. So with that out of the way, today I wanted to talk about web browsers. Now, web browser is a very common thing that all of us use in our day-to-day lives. In fact, most of the people just get on with a web browser for all their computing tasks. Like you can do basically anything nowadays on a web browser. So a lot of people just use Chrome by default, and I used to use Chrome as well from the time, I don't know, I remember even touching a computer. I used to use Chrome as my default browser, and this never really changed because I also had a Google account. I was using Google services, and it just seemed convenient that Chrome is like, you know, integrating all these Google services and everything into just this one Chrome browser. But this sort of changed, I would say, 1.5 year ago, where I started looking at other browsers, particularly because I was on YouTube one day and I got this advertisement of Brave browser. And I used to use YouTube a lot. I still use YouTube a lot. I am making videos. I watch videos on YouTube. So I got an ad on YouTube of Brave browser, and the one feature that they showcased was that YouTube and all other sites run faster on Brave. And another feature that they showed was that there were no ads playing on in front of YouTube videos, which is like huge. What? Then I checked, is this like free or what? Is this like a paid subscription they have with YouTube? And I just realized that it's completely free. In fact, it's free and open source software, and I'm like, oh wow, this is amazing. So I read about it, researched it a little bit more. So it's basically like a more secure version of Chrome with a lot of ad blockers built in. So like I thought, no, fine, I've been using Chrome forever, let me try switching to it. So I switched to Brave browser around 1.5 year ago now. And I was on it for like a very long time, even like about, if you have seen my elementary OS videos and things like that, I was still using Brave browser. So yeah, I was on Brave for a long time and I really liked all its features. But recently, I don't know, about a month ago, I saw a TechLinked video. I don't know if you know TechLinked, but I saw a TechLinked video showing that Firefox had fallen to 4th place in the browser market share. Like Microsoft Edge has overtaken its place. And then I just had a quick look at the browser market share, and I realized uh, Google Chrome was at the top, and next up is obviously Safari, and then comes Microsoft Edge, and after that Firefox. And I'm like, the top two out of the three browsers are Chromium based, and I'm like, well, that gives Google a lot of control over the entire web, basically, because nowadays every single person like designs their websites and web apps to work optimally with Chromium based. I mean, Chrome or Chromium, which Chrome is based on, is the open source version. Nowadays every single person who develops a website or a web app optimizes it mainly for Chrome, because they know that maximum number of people are using Chrome. But when if people keep using Chrome or Chromium based browsers, because now Microsoft Edge has recently switched to a Chromium based web browser, so now Microsoft Edge is based on Chromium. So as people use Chrome and Chromium based web browsers, this gives Google a lot of power over the web. They can decide what they can literally change the web standards if they want to, because and everyone will adapt, because Chrome or Chromium is the most used web browser in the world. So I recently started using Firefox along with Chrome. I'll come to that along with part. So recently started using Firefox because I just didn't want to put all my eggs in one basket per se. Now another reason I switched to Firefox from Brave is that I realized when I'm watching a YouTube video on Brave, let's say, there is no ad that plays throughout the entire video. Like there is no ad at all. So if I do not watch that ad, there is no AdSense revenue being generated, which in turn means that the creator of the video is not getting paid. Now at the beginning I didn't care much, but now me making these videos and basically being another creator on this platform of YouTube, I do realize that it is not that good. I mean, there are options to donate cryptocurrencies instead of watching ads and giving AdSense revenue to creators, but I don't have any cryptocurrency on me, so I'm like, I did not feel that was right. So again, I started using Firefox more and more. So it's been about a month now, and I have completely switched to using Firefox as my default browser. But that completely also is, completely, because so my school uses Microsoft Teams to conduct online classes. There is a Linux client, but I don't like using that because it's sometimes buggy, and it's just basically the web app wrapped as a desktop client. And another thing was that with that is it takes too much RAM compared to the web version. Now I tried running it on Firefox, but whatever I do, it doesn't run on Firefox. So I tried for like 2 days and then just gave up. I had to install at the end I ended up installing Chromium instead of Brave. I tried it with Ungoogle Chromium, which is basically a project where it's Chromium, but all the Google integrations have been removed, but it did not work with Ungoogle Chromium, so I had to install Chromium for my school for Microsoft Teams to work, so that I could attend my online classes. So that is my only dependence on the Chromium/Google whatever web engine. But other than that, I have completely switched to Firefox, using Firefox as my default browser. I am also trying other completely open source browsers, like I've been trying GNOME Web, Epiphany. It is not that good with media codecs and like media support. Like YouTube sometimes plays, sometimes doesn't play. Other websites like, I don't know, Prime Video, Netflix, you don't even expect it will not stay, it'll straight up not even work. But I've been using it, and I feel it's slightly faster than Firefox in some websites where the website is not very graphically intensive. But otherwise it is a little bit short on the graphics support. Like for example, I did do browser benchmark and across Firefox, Chrome, and GNOME Web. GNOME Web did not even finish some of the tests. Like it was a DNF. So yeah, I will make a separate, more scripted and more thorough video comparing these browsers. But this is just my opinion. I'm just sharing my experience, what I am up to right now. So I am to the point where I'm using Firefox as my default browser for everything, and my only dependence with Chromium is that I need it for my school stuff. If Microsoft Teams works on Firefox, like I tried for 2 days, but it did not work. So if it is working on Firefox, then I'll switch to Firefox completely immediately right now. So but yeah, that for that I have to still keep using Chromium. But that's what I wanted to tell you guys about why I switched to Firefox, and why I feel that if you can, and if you want to try some new browser, instead of going for like Brave or something like Microsoft Edge, which are Chromium based browsers. So even though they are even though some of them are open source like Brave, it is still based on the Chromium engine. So that just gives Google a lot of power to basically control the entire web, because like maximum number of web browsers are Chromium based nowadays. So That's why I switched to Firefox, because Firefox has its own separate web engine. It's not Chromium based, and as more people switch to Firefox, website developers and people who make web apps will have no choice but to support both the web engines, Chromium and Firefox. But do let me know in the comments below what you're using, what kind of web browsers you're using, and I will be coming with a new video. I will make a separate video about the comparison of web browsers in a more systematic way. I'll show you the benchmark scores and everything like that. So hit the bell icon to stay tuned and get a notification when that video comes around. But yes, other than that, until next time, live long and prosper.